Hello. Today we're going to talk about a video that I posted last week. It was a Kettlebell Complex workout. It was 28 minutes long, and we're going to talk about the whys behind it. Why did I build a complex? Why did I choose those particular exercises? Why was it 28 minutes long? My name is Chris Butterworth. This is the Healthy Butter channel, and here we talk about fighting off the effects of father time every day, every step of the way. And we do that by building a good functional fitness program. I feel great today at 56 years old. When I turned 50, I had chronic back pain. I've been through a number of injuries. Kettlebell fixed me. Club and Mace made me even better. So I lean really heavy into these modalities, into these pieces of equipment. I encourage everybody else to do the same. And I try to share on this channel my journey and how I got to where I am, how I went through fixing through injuries. And one of the ways that you can do that is to build a program that works best for you. And in order to build a program that works best for you, you need to understand why we do things. So we're going to talk for a few minutes today about that video. I'm going to link to it in the description below, and I'm also going to link to it at the end of this video. But I did a kettlebell complex. I do 4 single arm swings, 4 clean and press, 4 snatches, and 4 figure 8 to clean. And then I alternate hands and I do 24 rounds of it. My goal is to do 24 minutes without putting it down, 24 rounds without putting the kettlebell down. At this point, each round takes me a minute and I have to stop a few times in between. And so those are rest minutes. And so that's why my 24 rounds got to 28 minutes. So let's talk about it. Why would you build a complex instead of just doing regular exercises? And for me, it's 2 things. One of them is an increase in variety. If you're going to do 6 sets of 6, 7 sets of 7, that's one thing. You can bang out 7 sets of 7 cleans, and it's a solid workout. You're doing it on an EMOM, 7 minutes, boom, and you're done. You start to work out for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and doing the same thing over and over and over again gets boring. Also, not just the workout itself, but the calendar turns. Again, I'm in my 4th year. This winter, I'm going to conclude my 4th year of this program, and you can't just keep doing the same cleans over and over and over again for 4 years. At least maybe you can, I can't. I would get bored. So having variety is important to me. The other thing is there's an injury preventiveness to it. And this is going to happen for 2 reasons. One is because when you're doing large numbers of the same exercise over and over again, you start to fatigue the exact muscles that do that exercise. And when you fatigue, you run the risk of injury. When you get tired, your form starts to deteriorate, even just a little bit. And that leads to a potential risk for injury. The second thing is if you're focused on one program over and over and over again, you're probably increasing the weight. So now you're talking about fatigue, form decreased with heavy weight, and that even more increases. So by doing different things at each part of the workout, you're using slightly different muscle sets. And then also because I'm doing a strength endurance program, I'm keeping the weight a little bit lighter because you can't do your max weight for 25 minutes at a time. Why did I choose these particular exercises? Swing, clean, and press, snatch, and then figure 8 to clean. To me, that represents just about everything that a kettlebell can give you without Turkish get-ups and without squats. But I do Turkish get-ups on a separate program, and I incorporate a lot of squats with my Mace program, and I also do kettlebell ABC program, which has squats in it. So I'm getting enough squats in other places, and I focus on Turkish get-up. This allows me to basically get the best of kettlebell all in one routine. So the proof is in the pudding, right? The results speak for themselves. This workout makes me feel great. and I can't wait to do it again. I have a list here of my workouts, and I kind of go in order, and I always look forward to this one coming up. Why did I choose 28 minutes? My goal really is 25 minutes. I want to be able to do this 25 rounds all the way through. And the reason for that is just because 25 times 4 of each exercise, 4 swings, 4 cleans, 4 press, 4 snatches, and 4 figure eights to cleans, that would be 100 of each thing. If I can do 100 snatches in one workout without putting the kettlebell down, and 100 presses and 100 cleans, and then you add them all up, and that's 500 total reps. To me, it's just a nice round number. I love it. I use 24 minutes with a lot of my endurance workouts, my club workouts, and my Mace workouts because it's highly divisible. When you're doing 24 rounds, you can do 8 sets of 3, and you keep taking little breaks, or you can do 6 sets of 4, or you can, it just works its way all the way up. You can do 4 sets of 6, you can do 3 sets of 8, and you don't even have to do it that. You could do, on my workout that I did on this video that we're looking at, that I'm going to link to, I did 6, 6, 6. That got me to 18, and then I did 4, and then I did 2. So that got me to 24. But it's just really easy to divide and to slowly increase over time. So my goal is to get to 24 without putting the kettlebell down. And then when I can do that, I will add a 25th. So that is kind of the whys. Why did we build this complex? Why did I choose these exercises? Why 28 minutes? I want to take a step even further back. How do you get from the basic exercises? How did I choose to go into a complex? And I do want to give a shout out to my favorite kettlebell functional fitness club online YouTube guy is Mark Wildman. And short history is when I was really broken down and I was trying to figure out how I could use kettlebell, I stumbled onto one of his videos, and it basically led me down a rabbit hole that changed my life. So Mark Wildman was the first domino to fall that allowed me to put an entire program together. His older videos have a lot of more simple teaching, but there's still, even today, one of the reasons I formed this channel is because it's very difficult. I didn't find anything out there where it says this is how to build. So I had to create a lot of stuff on my own. Mark Wildman's channel was a gigantic help. I respect the guy tremendously, and I thank him without him even knowing it, because I feel great, and he was the first domino to fall to get me there. Now, that said, there is a famous Bruce Lee quote where he talks about experience everything, try everything, take what works for you and make it your own, and disregard the rest. And a couple of things that I've disregarded from Mark, that Mark talks about these programs, like if you do a clean program or if you do a swing program, that they should be several years long, 3 years long, 5 years long, and that you should roll through 7 different weights on your journey with that program. And to me, that didn't work for me. In my 50s, I don't need to work my way up to a 50-pound kettlebell, and I don't need to do cleans or clean and press to the point that I'm putting 50 pounds over my head. Again, smaller frame, very comfortable. I feel super fit, but I get kind of bored doing the same program over and over and over again, and then running into weights that were too heavy for my body made me feel bad. And the goal of this program, we talk about fighting Father Time. Father Time comes in every day and tries to mess with you. When you're in your 50s, what you don't want to do is hurt yourself and make it easier for him. We always want to feel great. And so when I was doing this program, if I pushed on my programs too hard and went too long and got a little too heavy, I felt worse instead of better. So changing to a complex was a way to offset some of that, and also be able to add more things into one workout. The other thing that I found with Mark is that he has a pretty consistent message that tends to, I think, land toward younger, stronger guys. He'll talk a lot about minimum weights, a guy should be able to do X amount of weight, and if you run through a few cycles, you should be able to do Y amount of weight. And he talks about that offhand like it's just a given, like that's what guys should be able to do. I've been doing this for 4 years. I am pretty fit by the grand scheme of American population. I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. And I can't do what he says as a given, like this is where guys should be. So maybe I'm just a weakling. It's so sad to think. I'm so sad. But why do you got to go there? Why do you got to hurt me? But the takeaway from that is that we're all different, right? I don't think that Mark writes a lot of programs for guys that are 140 pounds, 145 pounds, and for guys that are in their 50s and that are broken down. I think Mark writes a lot for athletes. He writes a lot for stronger guys, younger, bigger, stronger guys, and he writes a lot for actors, movie stars, and how they can get the most out of their body. So it's a different population. So again, take what works for you, and I want you to do that with my program here. What I've talked about today, the Kettlebell Complex that I've built, what I demonstrated in that video, again, linked in the description. Take what works for you. You don't have to do my complex. You don't have to do any complex. Or you could pick and choose and say, I like doing that, but I want to add this with it. The goal is to build a program that works for you. Use the weights that work for you. Use the duration and the breaks that work for you. And over time, if you continue to add just a little bit to it, I generally do the same workout 3 or 4 times, and then I go one step up. And so when I look back a year ago, my workouts look pretty easy compared to where I am today. It's just a slow, consistent journey forward. Fix your body, make your body feel better, and then keep getting better so that Father Time has a harder time, fighting back against you. Hope this was helpful. Hope you took something out of it, and I hope you're able to build a program that works really well for you. Have a great day. Go get better.